Amazon, misunderstood and underrated. Now, Amazon is my second largest holding in my portfolio, and let's just look at it right now. This is my portfolio. I'm very transparent. I share this with every video. This is a journey I want us all to go on, and I want you to follow me so you can see the things I do correct and incorrect, and you can take what you want to apply to your own strategy and your own portfolio, and that's what my channel offers, so be sure to subscribe. Now, I am in the green still by 1.77%. That's $850 in gains. And if we look at Amazon, right now it's down 6.76%. So I do plan on adding some Amazon next week, but I want to talk more about that later. It is my second largest holding at 10.53% market allocation of my portfolio. The only one that's bigger is Microsoft by a decent amount at 19.52%. So right now with the market, I feel we are going to have some volatility and dark days ahead because we've seen a very resilient retail spending market. We've seen inflation very stubborn, and the Fed, the last thing they want to do is ease fears. So I think they're going to pump fears back up at a certain point, and it'll cause fear in the market, which always leads to lots of people selling and things going down and in the red. So I think we'll see some opportunities, and especially possibly with Amazon, and that's what we're going to talk about. So if we look at Amazon year to date, they are up 13.26%. That is pretty stellar for a month and a half, but if we take that out to 1 year, they're down 36.3%. So it tells quite a different story. Now today we're going to be talking about the current CEO, Andy Jassy, of Amazon. So I want to talk to you a little bit, give you a little bit of background about him, and it's pretty fascinating. So Jassy, he joined Amazon as a marketing manager in 1997, and in 2003, he and Jeff Bezos came up with the idea to create the cloud computing platform that became known as Amazon Web Services, which launched in 2006. Now, Amazon Web Services has become probably the biggest profit opportunity for Amazon in history. This is a huge thing for them. So the fact that he was a key component in creating this is just awesome. Now, Jassy headed Amazon Web Services and it's 57 people. And in March of 2016, Jassy was named Person of the Year by the Financial Times. A month later after that, Jassy was promoted from Senior Vice President to CEO of Amazon Web Services, just that portion. Now, in January of 2021, Jeff Bezos designated Jassy his official successor and CEO. The announcement was made on February 2nd during Q4's earning release. The transition was scheduled for third quarter of 2021, and on July 5th, that was the handover date, which kind of cool. I love these little tidbits, but that handover date was the same day as Bezos when he founded the company back in 1994. So I think that's pretty awesome, and I like to hear little things like that. So really, the whole thing you need to understand is Jassy has been a very pivotal key employee of Amazon and now a very great leader. And the fact that he was the real momentum behind Amazon Web Services is fantastic. I apologize for the big hair mark right now. I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow, so it's falling down and all that good stuff, but I'll be clean cut for the next video. So I want to jump into this Fortune magazine article. We're going to go through this and I'm going to kind of pick it apart and we're going to talk about it, because if you are bullish or even bearish on Amazon, this is going to be something you want to hear. Probably more for those that are bullish like myself, and I think it's just fascinating and why I just love this company and think it's a better opportunity than Microsoft. Like I was mentioning, Amazon right now in their last earnings, all parts of their businesses are growing. In fact, the only one that had a negative 2% was the retail side of things, but if you take out that foreign exchange rate, it actually grew 2%. So you can argue all of its parts of its business were growing, where Microsoft was the opposite. Every part of its business is declining in growth. And that's why they're focusing so hard on AI to try to turn things around. So you have Amazon growing, you have Microsoft slowing down, and not only that, but Amazon has the Amazon Web Services, which is in first place. Microsoft's is in second. But Amazon keeps getting those big deals, which is going to keep them at the top. And I just think that's going to keep them dominant for quite some time. Plus, I think they have so many different innovative ventures that they go into. And it's just, I don't know. I really like this company. I think it's fascinating. I think it's going to provide some awesome growth in the future. Everyone that uses Amazon loves their products. And I know that I'm not saying everybody, like 100% of people, but most people do. I know I do. In fact, when I am bored, I don't go on to Facebook. I actually go on to Amazon and I go through all kinds of different products and like to research them. I know that's kind of nerdy, but that's what I like to do. So let's get into this article where Jassy says we will be misunderstood and underrated. So let's get started. And again, I'm going to kind of stop at certain points and talk more about this article. So the problems at retail giant Amazon have been laid bare in a leaked audio of boss Andy Jassy speaking to his staff. But as well as being brutally honest about the headwinds facing the business, the CEO laid out a roadmap for the company's success. So the internal all-hands meeting on Tuesday, Jassy said turning the company around will take many months, and moves will likely be misunderstood by the market. So that word misunderstood by the market means he's going to be making some decisions and announcements that could push fear high with Amazon stock and cause a lot of people to sell out possibly, which would give us that are bullish on this stock an opportunity to buy in at much lower prices. And so I'm very anxious to see what he's going to be announcing over the next several months. But again, I think this signals that the stock could see a lot more downward pressure, and that's something to keep in mind. Jassy's words came after Amazon confirmed in January that 18,000 workers will see their roles eliminated across the US, Canada, and Costa Rica. Retail chief Doug Harrington said the cuts had been made to lower costs so we can continue investing in the wide selection, low prices, and fast shipping that our customers love. Now, its retail part of its business really isn't profitable, and so I think what they're trying to do is turn it into a profitable part of their business. And so this is things they have to do, like cut those positions out and then focus on cost cutting in probably other areas. So Jassy also said, this is not work that's going to take 1 or 2 months. We're going to make progress, meaningful progress every month, but this will take many months. So that could mean 6 months, a year, 2 years. He says, I am quite confident that we will be misunderstood and we will be underrated. So I think, again, seems like so far they're focusing on cost cutting. They're really wanting to focus on the retail part of their business at this point. And those are areas I think that do need to be improved. So I like what I am hearing so far. His pep talk also called on colleagues to pull together to redefine the brand. In response to an employee's question about cost cutting and investments in recent months, Jassy said, this isn't the first time the company has been through this sort of transformation, and it won't be the last. Amazon continuously, invests in many things, shall we say. They kind of are the business of many things. They throw a dart and see if they can be successful somewhere. Most of the time they're successful. Sometimes they're not. So I think he's just talking about, they're going to be doing some things that are innovative and probably different to, have opportunity to grow in different areas, as well as focus on their core business. So addressing the staff and owners of the brand, a core principle of Amazon's strategy, he added that they will need to focus squarely on delivering for customers and realizing that we all have a piece of making this happen. He added he was confident they would deliver and redefine what Amazon is to be, insisting the company's best days are unquestionably ahead. He said, I look forward to making that happen with all of you. So it seems like the ideas, the initiatives that they're putting on the table right now and are going to push forward with are going to make them a very strong company in the future. And I think really what he's getting at is talking about profitability, because their margins are not the best in parts of their business. They have a lot of high expenses. And so I think this is what they're really trying to focus on and become a better company for investors, because Amazon, they can swing with their earnings like no other. They really aren't a company that is focused really on the investor side of things. They're just, I think, in this phase of we want to just see what we can do with what we got. But now I think they're going to try to really focus on growing those margins, growing those profits, and that's going to be great for us. Now, he also said that despite the hiring freezes, Jassy reaffirmed his commitment to breathtaking innovations. What a way to put that, such as healthcare. Now, healthcare is an area they haven't really been that successful in. They just acquired a company, and I don't remember the name. But the thing with Amazon is they have, their retail side of things. So they have a huge fleet, and they can really use that to their benefit for delivering prescriptions, which they're going to be getting into. So I'm very anxious to see how successful this will be for them. He also mentioned Project Cooper Broadband. So they want to expand broadband globally, and they do have satellites up in space. And then also talked about Zoox autonomous vehicles. This one I have not heard of. Now, I've looked into Amazon many times. It seems like every time I look at Amazon, I find a new part of their business I didn't know of before. And that's just how Amazon works. They're invested in so many things. So that's interesting. And then of course, entertainment. This is an area I think they've grown in and have been very successful. Of course, they have Prime Video, they have partnerships with the NFL. They're really expanding, and they had big, movies or shows, shall I say, like The Lord of the Rings. So they're doing big things, and I think they will continue growing in that area. And he says, I don't really know any other company that's pursuing a set of innovations like that. And I have to agree. I think this company is all about innovation, and that is fantastic. He also says a reduction in hiring should free up time to be more productive. With all the hiring that they did and other companies, that takes a lot of energy and resources. So now that they're not going to be focusing so much on that, a lot of their employees can focus attention elsewhere. And lastly, he called for renewed customer obsession. I love that saying that he puts out there, customer obsession. Amazon is obsessed with the customer. They're all about making things convenient and efficient for customers. You go on Amazon, you can see thousands of products, you can buy stuff, it gets delivered quick. They really are customer obsessed and oriented and always looking at ways to improve that. And so this is fantastic. So this is a phrase that's often touted by the company's leadership team, as he believes the shakeup offers an opportunity to reprioritize and rethink what matters to shoppers. Now, just because Amazon is one of the best e-commerce companies out there, and they are far in first place with e-commerce, doesn't mean that they can't improve. That's the mistake companies will make. Oh, we're already first, so they start to let go and be lazy, and that's when they can fall to second, third, and out of success of those areas. But Amazon is continuously trying to reinvent and innovate in this area and keep customers happy, looking at what they want, and that's fantastic. That's another reason why I'm so bullish on Amazon. So he sought to reassure his remaining employees that their leadership team has a plan. He says, I know that this is and feels like a really difficult time for any leadership team and for all of us as a group. We always have to look at what's going on around us in the macro economy as well as in our business. So there's the end of the article. What I like about Amazon is, they're not just continuously going on this spending spree. They are taking into account the economy, their own business, right, with the lack of profitability in some portions, some very low margins. And I really think that this is great, that they're not just ignoring what's going on around them. They're actually saying we need to now make some changes. And this is another reason why I'm bullish. I think Jassy is a great CEO, and I think that Amazon has some very amazing opportunities. Amazon Web Services is going to be such a high margin part of their business, and I think that'll just continue to grow, and that's going to be an area that they're either monopolistic on or a duopoly with Microsoft, and will be for a very long time, and that'll provide great profits and returns for us investors. Not only that, they have the retail e-commerce hold, so if they can really turn that to be profitable, that's going to be gold for us. And then all the other areas they're getting into, it's just fantastic. So in order to, I think, really boost and move forward, they are having to cut costs in a lot of ways with, laying off employees, focusing on cost cutting in other areas. And this is all great news if you're an investor. And I think that I'd love to hear anyone who's bearish on Amazon, because I know there's some, areas that you can make points on, right? They're spending way too much money, their expenses are too high, so on and so forth. But sometimes companies have to put that money up front, invest in things, and what you want to look for is the return on those investments in the future. So that's what we need to keep an eye on. And Amazon's been really successful in a lot of those areas. Amazon Web Services, for example. And so for me, what I plan on doing, I think there will be some dark days with this stock. In other words, some dips where you can add on. But you can't depend on that. You can't be certain, because the market's unpredictable. You can't predict it, but I think there's a high likelihood that we will see some decent dips with Amazon. So I probably will add some Amazon next week now that it's below $100. And then I think during those dips, I will keep adding. And I might make this my largest position, even larger than Microsoft, because in the next 2 to 10 years, I think Amazon can outperform Microsoft. I think Microsoft might go through some slow growth phase now for a while. It's got to really get that AI side of things going and turn around some of all of its parts of its business to back to increasing growth instead of declining growth. And so I think Amazon, it has all the areas of its business growing. It's very innovative, it's customer obsessed, it's really doing some great things here by finally doing some cost cutting and focusing on things that investors want. And so I just think this company's a great buy right now, but especially if it keeps dipping. And I think anything below 100, you're locking in a great price for future gains and profits. So let me know your thoughts on Amazon. I thought this was very fascinating. And thank you guys so much for joining my channel. Be sure to subscribe if you aren't. I think this is a fun, great channel to be a part of, and you'll learn different things than other channels. And I'm just a different person, so I provide a different strategy and viewpoint. And I think that's always good to have. So with that said, I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time on Mark Arnold's Finance.